Hey, everybody, and welcome to Trucking Talks Live. Hey, you know what? This show is all about your questions, your comments, your struggle, your successes, all those things. Be prepared to bring those to the show. We're going to be right back right after this thing. And when I hit this button, we'll be back in like 2 minutes.
Paying too much for trucking insurance? What if you could save more by making one simple phone call and keep more profit? You could very well do just that with one simple call to Seabright Agency, 800-366-6466. Call now.
Now here's a question that all owner-operators and small fleet owners should consider. What happens when you access the unrivaled advantages that are available through the ES Advantage program? We asked Jeff and Charley from Contractors Corner to share their thoughts on how they've been able to utilize the discounts and services that are a part of the ES Advantage.
Your business will make you money if you do well at that business. And ES Advantage in trucking, they do really well at providing those services. So the effect that ES has had on our personal trucking operations, not even talking about what we do on the consulting arena, I've been able to save thousands of dollars a year in fuel because of the relationship with them. I have a new accountant that I work with, trucker CFO, that I learned about from ES Advantage.
They're giving you that 10,000 yard kind of support from behind that creates a way for you to succeed, which is one of the things that we love, because anything you can do to help someone succeed is going to help them succeed. They make money by making sure you make money.
Now, if you're an owner-operator or small fleet owner and you would like to learn more about how you can drive savings to the bottom line of your business, the ES Advantage program has the discounts and services that deliver the kind of unrivaled advantages that are designed to help you improve your overall operation. Get connected with the ES Advantage today.
Well, yeah, there you have it. Get connected. Okay, wait. I'm going to throw Jeff up here so he can yell at me after I make this statement. It'll be funny.
What?
Look at this foot. Does anyone else giggle when I say in that promo for ES and I say they help you, they get behind you and give you that support as I'm reaching? I don't know why, but that makes me giggle like every time I see it. It's just me, isn't it? Jeff has no humor on his face right now. He's not seeing it.
I'm busy.
Look at his face. Stop it.
I'm busy.
No, sir. This is what you're busy with right here, right now. You know who's first? Bam. Chris Hamilton. Look, him and Craig were texting me, trying to get me to post the show up because I was late posting it today. Both of them texted me, Chris Hamilton and Craig. They're like, "Where's the link, bro? Hey, I guess I'm going to miss it. Guess I don't get to play. Blah, blah, blah." Man, you big crybabies. No, I love you guys, though, for real. But Chris,
but I mean, you know, there's another contest that nobody knew about, and Craig was first on that one. I just want to point that out.
Right? It was a thing.
Craig was the first person to click on the link to get into the Road Warrior Entrepreneurs Community Facebook page pre-launch. So all of our people that were already members of the old community, they got the link to yesterday or today. Was it today or yesterday? I can't even remember. My brain is so fried right now.
It was yesterday or today.
Yesterday or today, yeah. So in the Mighty group, so that one is done. It's still there for those of you that it's still there. We just can't do anything with it anymore because we stopped paying for it.
Right. We have relinquished payment on that platform since we're moving to this other one. So we got this gap where we're going from that one. We're temporarily hanging out in Facebook for a month and then going to the new platform.
Right.
Awesome, I think.
So Craig was the first one to make the leap over into our pre-launch Facebook group. So congratulations, Craig. Give yourself another trophy for that. That'll be a first place trophy to add to your collection.
We'll hug it out, bro.
And you've got so many trophies now, Craig. I think you should just give one to Chris. You give Chris one of your trophies.
Wait. Jim was third today.
So now we've got first, second, and third.
Yeah.
that
Oh
we're
yeah.
doing now?
Oh, we
Okay.
do it every week. Yeah, they battle over the top 3, bro. It's a trip. You know that look. That's why Craig has the silver.
Right.
Chris has the gold.
Right.
And Jim didn't even give himself one. He's like, third's not even worth it. But
Well,
I think it is. I mean, it is after all the second loser.
What?
That ain't right. You know I'm playing. I appreciate you guys. I don't know if you guys know. Look, Jeff and I are mentally spent right here, right now.
Yes.
We have been doing stuff that we have no understanding.
I didn't even put all the product in my hair that I normally do, so it's all like coming down to my face. That's how spent we are, man.
I mean, okay, look, check it out.
Charlie doesn't need product. You're still in your jammies.
I'm still in my damn pajamas because I haven't had a chance to get dressed and go outside and be a real person today.
So those of you that don't know, Charlie did not get home until 6:25 or something like that this morning.
God, it sucked.
But he
I'm gonna
did
make
what
a
he
video
needed
about
to do to help his customer
I did.
and further solidify his relationship with those people over there at the Target DC.
And make myself more money.
That's right.
You know what? I'm gonna make a video about that experience, Jeff.
Okay.
I think that's gonna be a good little video. How look, my whole payroll got screwed up over doing this favor. I was on a 1,600-mile trip. They ended it in a weird spot, had me drive 267 miles to do a relay back to Houston and some other places, and then go back to the DC. And I was on a 1,600-mile trip all by itself. DC, stores in Houston, back to DC. They had me go DC, Houston, back to Lafayette, back into Houston, and then back to the DC. And somehow that netted me 1,300 miles total. When the first load was already 1,600, magical miles disappeared. And there was so much loss in that. It was ridiculous. But there's a video on that and how I dealt with that and how I got it sorted out. It took a little bit of time, but there's a video on that. I'm going to do that. That's bing. I'm going to watch. I'm a Jeff.
What?
Trusty notepad.
Oh, yeah. So, the link was not in an email yet. We're working on that. You know us in technology, man. Come on. It just took us a month and a half just to build a landing page and a sign up form for the new people, and it still doesn't work right. So
we got closer.
So for people that are the founding members of the community, which means that you paid your dues a year and change ago, and we gave you that sweetheart deal for helping us start the thing. In the Mighty Network itself right now, there's a link. That's where the link is. To get in under the new plan, which, Charlie, we should throw up Donna's thing.
Oh, the picture?
Yeah, the promo.
Hang on, I might be able to do
so
something.
Everybody knows what it is. So for the launch, there's going to be a discounted price through Labor Day. Labor Day, right? It's Labor Day, right?
Yep. We decided Labor Day.
Because I get all of my holidays mixed up except for the 4th of July and Christmas. Sometimes I remember when my birthday is.
Not really.
So there will be a pretty steep discount on the price, the monthly price, up until Labor Day. And Charlie's working hard to get Donna's
I'm working on something.
nice flashing thing here. Once that price is gone, it's gone though. Yeah, Timothy. Yeah, Swift does pay zip code to zip code in accordance with the contract that you signed. And you know what I found out? I'm not at Swift anymore. And you know what? Panther pays the same way. You know what? Forward Air pays the same way. You know what? Every single mileage contract out there that I've actually read pays the same way. That is the industry standard. Now, if you want to talk about doing a percentage type of deal, that's a different contract. And you want to talk about losing out on miles, bro.
Right.
We could talk about that if you want. I got triggered. I'm sorry. I apologize.
Triggered.
You and I know we can yell at each other and then go have a drink later.
I have to figure out
Anyway,
how to save this all by itself.
what's that?
I'm trying to. I don't have the individual picture anymore. that
The
I'm aware
promo?
of. Yeah.
You talk for a second then. Let me s-
Is it in our drive
I don't know. Is it in our drive
or is it just on Canva?
or is it just on Canva?
Yeah, I love it. We're all
There's a-
shot,
There's a lot of inside baseball going on right now.
right? Oh wait! I might have it. I got it.
You got it?
Give me a
He's got
second.
it.
I got it. Let me do a
Well,
thing.
we do have our art director sitting right next to me if we need her.
I got it. Share screen. I don't even know how I just did this. That's the crazy thing.
There's a lot of that today, Charlie. We fixed some
for real.
stuff with our web stuff, and we're like, I had no idea what I just did. I was mashing buttons, and now it works.
Right. Several of them.
All right, so that's the official promo, guys. So we will be sending that out.
Might be hard to see on that screen. Sorry.
It might be. Can you full screen it real quick?
Let me
I don't
try to
know.
see if I can magnify it. I think I can magnify it.
Magnify. Oh, it's like magic.
How's that? That's better. That's readable.
That's magic right there.
Ignore the double logo. Wait, watch. I
So
can make
for-
it go away.
For those of you that are listening to us because you're driving, do
We're
not pick
rambling.
up your phone to see this.
Right. Go back later. Look at
Go back
14
later.
minutes.
I want you to look at because my lovely wife Donna did all of this for
On
us.
fire.
So the words are, just so you all know, the Road Warrior Entrepreneurs Community, the place to gather and learn the secrets of successful business ownership. Normally, we're going to charge $57 a month for this. Our
Introductory.
special is going to be $37 a month. And that's going to, if you sign up for that, when we actually get this thing to work like it's supposed to,
Right.
um,
It's coming real quick.
you're gonna lock this low lifetime introductory rate. It's gonna be lifetime for you. It's gonna be a limited time only.
Through
We're
Labor
gonna run
Day.
this through Labor Day, and Charlie and I have discussed this. Intro what? Yeah, okay, Craig.
That was
Words.
funny.
This will be the only time it's this low. We may have other promos like Christmas time or whatever, but it's
It
never
will
going to be
never be that
$37
price
a month
again.
ever again. So if you're wanting to get into the network and dive deeper into the things that we talked about in the show here, get some training from a mastermind professional, Josh Hull, who is our personal coach. And part of the reason I'm just going to say it, Charlie, there's things that guy has taught us that we were like, oh, well, we probably could have done this by ourselves, but it would have taken us 10 years.
Right.
But he's already done stuff like this. So he taught us how to do it. So a few things on the promo card that are going to be different because of how we're releasing this thing is when you sign up, you'll get charged with $37 and you'll immediately get access to the private Facebook page, which is our pre-launch page, our meet and greet. And that's where we're going to be doing some trainings and things like that while we get the community page a little more solid and ready to go. We just felt like, it was time to either poop or get off the pot.
Yep.
That's what this is. We've been trying to do this for a couple of years now. And we finally decided to say, you know what? Let's hire a guy that's done this before to show us what we're doing wrong. and he put us on a schedule, and it's been great.
I was like,
Um,
please take my money.
right. And so all these things, the weekly trainings on your schedule, because of the way different things work, we're learning that we can't. One of the things we've learned, Charlie, is we literally cannot do what we thought we wanted to do.
Right. We wanted to do
Um,
live classes with everybody, but trying to get everybody online at
right.
one time,
We're all truckers.
inconceivable.
Our our schedule is not the same every day, let alone,
Princess Bride.
yeah,
You like that? Sorry.
inconceivable. So, we will have a live component, and if you can make that, that's great. It's going to depend on our schedule, your schedule, because again, part of I'm just going to say it, Charlie. But one of the things that sets us apart, really, from the other people that might be trying to do something similar is we still drive trucks. We're
Right.
out there every day driving trucks. We're shopping for fuel. We're running the numbers. We're getting angry about lost miles because Swift only pays zip code to zip code. It's not that we don't get angry about it. Sometimes
Right.
it's just that it's contractual, man. So you got to figure out if you can live with that. So yeah, we're in the day to day. We're single truck operators with dreams of growing a fleet. Maybe we will get deep into that in the classes on the community. By the way, if you want to grow a fleet, we got you covered on that.
Yep.
We might just convince you not to do it
You're right.
when we get into the numbers and on actually what it takes to do, like the guy I'm working with, Rob. I'm helping him do some things with his fleet, and you listen to his story on how he got those 40 trucks and how much that man works. Yeah, it's not what some people may think. I think he really enjoys what he does, but man, it's a lot of work what he does.
Okay, I gotta touch on a couple things real quick. Where did Tim Ransom? So that problem that I ran into wasn't a zip code to zip code problem. They literally ended my run in Houston instead of extending it all the way back to Lafayette. And then on the other end of it, somehow they put me in as running from Lake City to Lafayette and back to Lake City, but only paid from Lake City to Lafayette, not the round trip. Yeah, it was all kinds of jacked up. It was crazy. It had nothing to do with the zip code thing on this one. So yeah, it was actually, you know what? Zip code to zip code actually paid more on the load than the actual miles driven on this one
That does happen sometimes.
by almost 200 miles total.
Shh.
On all, I'm telling you, on both the loads
Quiet.
combined, it was like 200 miles. Because I came up with like a 1030 something on one and 1100 and something on the other, and I ended up with 2360 or 2380 or something like that when they ran theirs. I'm like, yep, that looks right.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, who am I kidding? The suits at Swift aren't watching this.
Right. I'm just saying, man, it's hilarious, but sometimes it works out. I can honestly say that it's not all the time, but it's not as infrequent as a lot of people think, because I actually track my real mileage. You guys know that. I didn't do that today. I didn't get to do my fuel for the weekend. I'm not doing it right now because my brain is not going to. Can you imagine the numbers I'll produce right now if I try to do this?
As much as a hard time as we're having with words right now, Charlie,
Bro,
numbers are not going to be your friend.
Chris Hamilton, this is the other thing I wanted to touch on. Got chosen for the new ELD going next week to get it. I'm telling you, man, I like it. Tim said he's going to wait for them to work the bugs out. There's actually not a whole lot of bugs in it. It's nice.
And you were saying too that when you find them and you let them know, they're pretty quick on fixing it, right?
They've been really good about fixing the small problems and things like that. It does crash from time to time, but here's the thing. It's really great. You touch the damn screen, you swipe the app off to close it like you do on your phone, right? Reopen the app, it starts itself, it's all fixed, it's going, it's happy. Only problem is if the Point app has if you're using the Point app navigation and it struggles and you're driving, You can't get back to that navigation without stopping. I understand why, but that's the big drag to it at this point for me. Other than that, man, I've been digging it. Like, seriously, it was a little frustrating the first week or two we had the new ELD with the Geo tab. Just because I didn't understand what buttons to push when and where. Because I expected it to be far more complicated than it actually was. It's far less complicated, I think. It's easy to add trailers and drop trailers from your logs and all that. It is super easy. Any company guys may not dig the new pre and post trip inspection log portion of it. They are required to so it's got 2 inspection items or sections, one for the tractor, one for the trailer. They each have their own timers, and the company people have to actually like push pre-trip while they're doing that and go do their pre-trip on their tractor. Come back and say, "Oh, my pre-trip is done." And it logs the time that you did that. Right? And then you got to do the trailer. And it logs the time you did that. Me, like most other people out there, go out and pre-trip the entire tractor and trailer in a single loop, right?
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes I go around 2 or 3 times because I'm like, whatever. But I do it in kind of one fell swoop and get back in, and I'd want to hit that button. I'm not climbing in and out of the truck to log each one because that's dumb to me. And I've actually expressed that out loud to them. And right now, as a contractor, I'm not required to do all that because I'm required to meet the FMCSA standards, which simply states I need to log the fact that I did something. I don't actually have to flag what it is that I did. I simply need to be able to say, "Oh, at 8 o'clock this morning from 8 to 8:30 or whatever, I was doing a pre-trip." That's what that on-duty time right there is in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. But I'm only required to log the time, city, and state, not the action that I performed.
I still think that's a weird hill to die on.
Look, man, I'm not running that stupid timer. So you know what I do? It's funny. I go through and I go on duty, right? I do my pre-trip, however long that takes. I go into the asset inspection button thing, and I click on the tractor number, and I hit pre-trip, and I flip it, and I hit good, and it says, "Oh, that took 3 seconds." And I go to the trailer one, and I say pre-trip, and I flip the screen, and I say good, and it says, "Oh, that took 2 seconds." And they said that as long as my time shows that I was doing something, my actual log time, not that inspection tab thing, shows that I was doing something of an adequate amount of time to say that, yes, I did a pre-trip, that would carry me with the DOT. So that is what I'm doing, and they know it, and it's not an argument with contractors. Company guys are going to be screwed because they want you to actually log that time. At least last time I talked to them about it, they're like, "Yep."
I mean, we've had that discussion before. They can treat employees however they want.
Right.
Really. But as a contractor?
I've been involved in a US Express Facebook group for the last 4 days, having a debate, a discussion about how US Express, somebody tried to say that, well, if US Express doesn't allow their people to use PC, then they have to pay for a ride to and from wherever it is you need to go during your time and put you in a hotel. And I'm like, bro, you are so wrong. I don't even know where
that's not the case.
He is.
Yeah, that's an argument I'm preparing for Panther. Is Panther does not allow us to use PC,
right?
Nor do they have the yard move option.
Right.
And so I've started cataloging how much time I'm wasting. We're gonna let Rob and his people know, because he's a big enough player at Panther where he can actually like you and I do, Charlie,
right.
Go talk to Swift. He can go talk to Panther, and I'm just putting it together for him. PC doesn't bother me nearly as much, and here's why, Charlie. Because most Panther trucks are team trucks,
right?
So I don't know that you would use PC in a team truck.
I very rarely.
You would just do your driver change at a Walmart if that's what you need to do, and
right.
Go get some food. Solo, though, I was explaining to him, on my 34 at Swift for 18 years.
Right.
As long as I didn't have a trailer or anything on me, I could just bobtail to Walmart, buy a month's worth of food and stick it in my big freezer chest, and I was
Right.
a happy guy. The yard move does bother me a little bit because it's like any other ELD. It doesn't kick into drive until you're over 5 miles an hour. So you see all these Panther and Arc Best guys doing 5 miles an hour through these
Right.
yards, and I'm like, I'll just take a 30-minute down the road. But to me, that's kind of a safety thing. Give them that yard move where they can do yard move stuff, because it's not like expedited is always
Right.
weird dock in a guy's backyard to weird dock in a guy's backyard. Mostly I'm going into fenced, controlled
Right. Yep.
companies. And once I break past that guard shack, I should be able to go on PC.
Excuse me.
Save that drive time. So that's the fight that I'm willing to have over where I'm at now. Maybe we
It's
can
like
make some
15 or
positive
20 or
changes.
something. Who knows? I don't know. If you're doing 20 miles an hour in a yard, you might be going too fast. I'm just saying, bro.
Yeah.
I push it.
I
at
know the
30.
Swift ELD doesn't kick over into drive off of yard move until 20 miles an hour. They could make it 10 or 15. I don't care. I just want the option.
Right.
Because here's the other thing, Charlie. If you're busting a move, right? And I know you don't use it because you're going to stores, right? But
Right.
that's something totally different. But when you're going from yard to yard, that half hour that it takes to
Oh,
drive
yeah.
sometimes around the building, get in the dock, get your stuff, and then back out, that's your 30-minute break. That's legally a 30-minute. You can count that as your 30-minute.
Right.
All sorts of reasons why I want that yard move. PC, let's be real, that's always just been a convenience. People, and I'm willing to bet that once I had this conversation, what happened is what almost happened at Swift
Right.
with the abuse of PC.
Right.
I'm sure they probably got all, oh yeah, we can let our guys have PC and they can go do stuff. And
Right.
some jackwagon went from, Atlanta to Charlotte on PC because, hey, everybody does that, right?
Right.
You know?
That's cool, bro.
Never mind that you had an empty trailer and you were going to pick something up, so it's clearly forwarding a load.
Right.
So,
By the way, we've lost a lot of contractors at Swift. I don't know if I talked about it or not. We lost a lot of 2 weeks ago, lost 5 just out of Ocala
for the PC thing,
over similar things.
Hmm.
Misuse of the ELD in various shapes and sizes, not to mention the camera. There's been a bunch of camera events that are been getting tagged on people, slow rolling stop signs, running stop signs. I'm like, are you a mentor, bro? He's like, no. Why do you even have a camera? Why do you still got Swift insurance? I don't even understand it. You did that to yourself. I'm sorry. I hate that you lost your contract, but you could have not done it. Wait. I'm not saying you should be running stop signs, so don't go there. But you know what? Had you not had that camera, they wouldn't have seen you slow roll that stop sign in your neighborhood where there's absolutely no traffic. You're the only house on the street. You slow rolled your stop sign. There's nobody there. I get it. Whatever. But you know what? The camera picked it up and said, hey, you ran a stop sign, bro. And you got a contract terminated because of that. That's crazy to me.
Yep. And you paid more to lose your contract. Just saying.
Right?
So yeah, Timothy, absolutely. I picked up when I was in the straight truck for that couple of weeks. I delivered a load to this place, and what they do the conversions, Charlie, for the car haulers.
Right.
So they come in naked cab and chassis, just a cab and a chassis, and they put all the stuff on to be a car hauler. And I kid you not, it was 2 miles from the gate to the dock. 2 miles. To the point where I went over this stream, and it looked like one of those highway bridges over the Mississippi or something. It was crazy. So yeah, that was you could definitely, some of those big Walmart DCs, holy smokes, man. By the time you get out to where they want you to park that trailer and then get over to where the empties are in the dirt lot behind the DC.
Just don't even get me started on those. You know what? Those are times I use yard move.
Yeah, I bet.
I'm going to a Walmart DC or something similar. You can believe I'm using yard move because forget about that. And that's even in a team truck. I'm just saying, you can kill an hour driving around there. No, that's just dumb. I don't mind eating 5 minutes here or there, but come on now. Like,
Yep.
I don't use it at the Target DC. I know a lot of guys do. I don't use it at our Target DC because it's usually, unless I'm behind one of the CR England guys, it's literally doing that I'm off duty thing and they're creeping.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm not allowed to pass them. Sometimes I may break that rule. But there's certain spots where you can't really pass them without getting in trouble and thrown off the yard. So I get stuck. Those guys suck. Don't do that. If you're one of those people, please stop doing that. Just use yard move or just log legal because you're driving. You're clearly moving your load forward, right? You're trying to get to the dock, whatever. Just stop. Just stop. We got guys that do that from the Huddle House down the road or the SNS truck stop. Dude, these guys will throw their four-ways on and drive down the center median, or just as bad and or worse, out in one of the two travel lanes coming down the DC with their four-ways on, creeping in sleeper berth or off duty or something like that.
Wow.
And I'm like, what? Yeah. At least out on the 2-lane road, I can get around them. But then there's a long stretch that's a single lane. You can't get around these donkeys. Wow. I struggled there. Anyhow, I don't even know where we're going with that. But yeah, bad things. Don't let them happen to you. Tired much? What? Sleep. Who needs that? I don't even understand why you would need sleep. Who needs that stuff? I need a storage building. I decided that today.
A storage building?
Yep.
For what?
I got too much crap.
Okay.
I was looking around today, and then I told Rosa, I'm like, babe, we need to go to a small storage building because I need to fix this room that I'm in right now. It has become everybody's storage room. I've got boxes of stuff that I don't even know what they are. They're not, some of it's mine, some of it isn't. I don't know. I don't even know what's mine in here anymore.
Whatever you do, don't get rid of the box of cords.
Who do you think I am? I'm not an animal. I've got a box out here just outside this room in my actual storage room right around the corner that I've got parts for every computer I've ever had back to like a 486 IBM PS1 Consultant.
Wow.
Bro, I can't throw parts away. I don't know why. I need to, but I can't. My brain will not allow it. Hoarder much? What? I can't help it.
When my dad moved to Houston, we found boxes of old memory cards. Okay,
Right.
Everybody knows the little Sims that we have now, Sims and Dims. These were cards that were like this big.
Yes.
And up to your memory by 2 megabytes.
2 whole megs.
Yep.
That was great.
And he had hundreds of those in boxes. And I'm like, why? This is like in what, late 90s. And he said, well, people still use those old computers. And
I see your dad and I. We're here. I'm gonna be the guy that has the ribbon cable that somebody needs.
Yep.
With the right proper twist and the right, count in the 64 whatever massive ribbon thing. Oh my gosh.
Donna says you could just get rid of the stuff.
You know what? How do I ban somebody?
I told you, Charlie, one of the best things we did was when we moved, we got the largest U-Haul trailer to tow behind a pickup, right?
Right.
If it didn't fit in the vehicles,
oh no,
it didn't go. And we threw everything else out.
That's how I left a Jeep in Oregon.
Yeah.
I traded a Lincoln welder, MIG welder for it though.
Oh, okay.
Didn't run.
I tell you, man, it's been nice without all that stuff. I don't even know what most of that stuff we threw out was.
See, Jim knows. I'll get rid of it and then I'll need it.
That is a thing.
Every single time.
Because I did get rid of my box of quartz. And you know what? I did need one about 6 months ago, and I'm like, oh, I bet I had one of those in that box of cords.
Yeah, James, the gold and silver and those things. But you know what? It is so difficult. Like I've looked at actually doing that. It is way too much work for the amounts that you get. The time involved, my time is worth more than the amount you would actually get out of those. You have to do those by the ton to make anything worth it while. I mean, it's ridiculous. So last week I told you guys that I'd ordered something for Rosie and I ordered a mic and all that, and I was testing it, right? I had that pink mic. And part of it
Yes.
got sent to a different address and the guy signed for it. So the company finally sent me another one, right, this week while we were gone. You got to see this box. And how this guy didn't go, oh, that I didn't order that, right? Be right back. You'll love this.
That's live TV, guys. That's live. Whoa, what the heck is that?
It's not like it's a small box.
Wow.
That thing is massive with a big label with my name on it.
That's not a main seal kit.
Bro, that guy, I don't even understand. I'm like, whatever.
Is that the guy that you tried to give his dishwasher or something back to him?
Yeah, I think that's what happened, because sometimes his packages come here.
Mm-hmm.
And there was like a thing, and he had a dishwasher delivered, and my brother signed for it because he's like, I don't know who signed. He never looked at the label. He's just like, here, sign here.
Your dishwasher, okay.
Guess Charlie or somebody ordered a dishwasher. He signed for it, and I'm like, bro, we didn't order a dishwasher. I looked at the name. I'm like, I don't even know who that is. Oh, that's Southeast Fifth Ave, not Northeast Fifth Ave, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so I go to the guy's house, and I'm like, hey, man, I got a dishwasher delivered to my house today for you. And the guy started yelling, freaking out. And he's like, why'd you even sign for it, bro? I'm like, I didn't. My brother did. He didn't know if someone had ordered it or not. Well, did you inspect it? I'm like, bro, look, I'm letting you know that it's at my house. I actually offered to go back home, load it in the back of my truck, and deliver it to his house for him. The guy started screaming at me like I was three heads. He was going to put me on a cross or something. I don't even know what the heck was happening. It was the craziest thing you ever saw in your life. This guy went completely bonkers. And then he's like, I'm like, dude, what do you want me to do with this thing, man? I'm trying to let you know it's here. Maybe you could let Home Depot know, because that's where you ordered it from. Well, the last one they shipped was broken. If you didn't look at it, I'm not taking it. I'm like, whatever, bro. What do you want me to do? He's like, keep it. I'm like, well, that ain't right, but whatever. I left. I got tired of dealing with the guy, and I let people know. I called like Home Depot or something. I can't remember who I called, or the shipping company, something like that. Anyhow, the shipping company is a dude and his buddy in a box truck, and he showed up at my house that evening. I had the dishwasher and all the parts inside, and he's like, "Hey, man, by any chance, can we get that dishwasher?" And I'm like, of course, man, let me get it for you. And I brought it out. I drug it out of the house in my little dolly, and I had him take it out of there, and he put it on his truck. And this guy, he almost got completely screwed. So the invoice had my address, which is on Northeast Fifth Ave. The label on the box said Southeast Fifth Ave. He went by what was on his paperwork in his bill of lading, and delivered to that address. Never looked at the label on the box. That's what got him screwed up. That's where the confusion was. And he's like, yeah, man, I'm really bummed, because he came back like 8 o'clock that night. They had already been heading back to like Orlando or some nonsense or something. And I gave him the dishwasher. And he's like, bro, thanks so much, man. I was going to have to pay for a whole brand new dishwasher for this guy because of this. And I'm like, I got your back, bro. Trucker power. And then we started talking about trucking, and then I warned him about what he was in for with that guy. I'm like, look, when you get there, just get it off the truck, drop it wherever he wants it, and then prepare to stand there, because he's going to unpack it, and he's going to inspect every inch of it, and probably end up reloading it into your truck, because he's going to find a reason to reject it. So beware. Yeah, it was cool. Never saw that guy again, but whatever. Now I think my mic got delivered over there, and he's just keeping it because, maybe he does something, because it's a mic stand made for a pretty specific microphone. I'm just saying, but whatever. I mean, it's $100. I guess maybe he'll sell it. I should look at like Facebook Marketplace and
See
keep
if
an eye
it's
out
on
for it.
there.
Yeah. And be like, hey, bro, by any chance, can I see the shipping label with the name Charles Mann on it?
Oh,
Jackass.
man.
People are wrong, man. Like Sweetwater, the company I bought it from, they're like, yeah, I told them the whole story about that guy. And I'm like, if they delivered it there, forget about it. That guy's not going to give you nothing. They're like, well, we got ways. We can do some stuff. And I'm like, okay, good luck. I'm not going over there
Yeah.
because me and him will end up throwing hands.
So DJ wants to know what the
Nice.
freight market's looking like, and says he's home for the weekend, wondering if he made the right decision. Hey, I was just going to work through the week, but I had some repairs on this truck I've got that needed to be done. Overall,
License plate.
Charlie, we've seen an uptick. I think we've been seeing, at least at the truckload carriers, the
Right.
Swifts and all those guys, seeing a little bit better mileage this week than in past weeks. So I think that all the analysts might have actually gotten it right this time, which, let's be real, for the last 2 years, they've been like, man, we've got to be at the bottom. This has got to be the
Right.
bottom. It's terrible.
Well, we've seen enough people starting to finally exit now without the massive influx because everybody's like, I'm not getting into trucking right now. It's crazy. And we're like, thank you. Please don't.
Yeah. Yeah, as much as we hate to see people go out of business, it's a free market economy, sort of, kind of. We won't get into that, but
Right.
technically it's a free market economy. And when you have more capacity than is needed, man, it starts getting bad for the people in that business.
Right.
And I do think that we're finally starting to turn that corner. I posted, there was another one that went out of business last week. What was
Yeah, it
it?
was a company that got bought up. It was like 500 trucks.
Yeah, so it was a company that was Forward Air sold off one of its divisions. Probably a good thing, given that
Right.
division, that company that was created, went out of business last week. So yeah,
Lance is saying the rates at Landstar have been good for the last 2 weeks. So
that's
yeah,
good. So they're starting to come up a little bit. That's good.
and that's what we've been seeing it all over the place is that the capacity is reducing. Well, I don't know if the volume necessarily is increasing. I haven't looked at the hard numbers lately, but I think what's happening is the capacity, the available trucks and trucking companies is diminishing, and so it's starting to match the volume that's out there, which of course is going to drive rates back up, and people will be able to stay a little more picky and things of that nature. And look, that's good for us, right? So hopefully we're back into whatever the hell a normal cycle is going to be from here out. Who knows? But maybe we're back in whatever the new normal is. So maybe we'll see the slow climb like we have in the past. And
whenever you're analyzing any market, and I know that some of our tens of viewers, like me, have been interested in the stock market. I've looked at the stock market and done some things over the years, and the drop is really quick usually. When the bottom falls out, it's a race to the bottom.
right.
Now the climb out is usually very slow, but very steady over a couple of years. So don't be thinking that, oh, we're going to get back to those 2021 rates next week. No. As a matter of fact, if you pay attention to, and I know this is one of those things, Charlie, we're going to offend half our audience, but we actually do pay attention to the DAT guys, the DAT load board guys. I mean, let's be real. They move a lot of freight on that board, and they've got some access to numbers that
amazing data.
And so in their projections and their histograms and all that stuff that they use, they've taken out 2020 and 21 out of the entire equation.
Yep.
As an outlier. And
screws it up.
And if you understand how statistics are used, the old adage, statistics never lie, but liars use statistics. That is unfortunately a true statement. But when you're dealing with statistics, it's like we use the Let's Truck app for our fuel mileage. Did you know that if you have an outlier like an 11 mile per gallon tank, that gets, they don't even look at that. It goes away. Same thing if you have a 4 mile per gallon tank. They consider that an outlier. It's just going to mess up the statistics, so they kick it out. So 2020, 2021, we had rates, dry van rates, right, Charlie? You remember dry van rates at $4.80, $5?
Yeah, it was ridiculous.
That's an outlier, folks. So what they've done really is they've gone all the way back to 2017 and saying that's what we're going to consider normal is 2017. And we got back to 2017 rates here a couple months ago. And everybody's like, yay, but the capacity is still too high. So who's getting those rates? We don't know.
Right. So like Tim said, his driver leader over at Swift said that we are overbooked because a lot of drivers went home for the 4th. It's funny. So I got home this morning, right? My normal, extra day. Normally I'm home Monday morning, but I got home Tuesday morning today. It's Tuesday. Sorry, not here yet. But I'm actually going back to work on the 4th because that's my normal day back to work, which bums me out a little bit. But I'm on really good revenue weeks right now, and I'm in a good groove, and I really just want to keep that going. I am going to take, I was telling Jeff earlier today that I'll probably be taking, I come home on the 15th like I normally would, which would be a Monday. Maybe, no, I can't work the 16th because I actually have an appointment. I got a VA appointment to get a shot put in the back of my head for my nerve block again. It's been 3 months. I can't believe, I swear it was last month, but whatever. So I'm actually just going to take that whole week off and not go back the following Thursday, but the Thursday after that. So one, I need a little decompression time. 2, Jeff and I have a lot of work that we need to get caught up. You know, he's got work that he does. I've got work that I do. He's home this week getting some stuff done. I will be home that week to do a bunch of stuff. So, you know, it's sometimes you just got to get the hell out of the truck, you know?
Yes.
And for me, I know you guys think,
you know, even when you drive a Western Star.
Just done with that guy and his damn Western Star. I'm just playing, Jeff. You know, I don't really care. But yeah, so I'm at a point now. I've been in such a weird groove for so long, right? And I'm actually only working 4 days a week, but I come home, I'm exhausted. So, you know, I come home Monday's useless. Tuesday, I dedicate to getting show stuff done, phone calls, meetings. We have a meeting that Jeff and I attend every Tuesday at 3:00 my time. So my Tuesday is pretty much covered. There's not a lot I can get done with the family or anything like that, right? Wednesday's my one day of the week, and then I'm back to work. And then Rosie and I run like crazy people, right? So it's just go, go, go. It seems to never stop. So I'm actually finally going to take a real week off. Over the last couple of months, since Rosie and I went OTR a few months back, we had decided that we were going to change our business model, our work schedule, because we had some financial goals that we wanted to meet and things like that, right? So we've been sticking to it religiously. You know, we were out for, you know, multiple weeks at a time doing the show from the road. I don't like doing that, but whatever. We did what we had to do. This opportunity popped up with Target and this Texas freight, which met my minimum requirements for each week. And it actually comes out pretty good because even though I'm meeting the minimum mileage requirements, I got all that accessorial pay for all the stops that I do, which makes up for the lack of the miles that I'm not necessarily running, right? Mm-hmm. So it's kind of cool that way. So it's been working on. Look at. Hey Tony, good to see you. But yeah, so it's been working really well. I think it may be coming to an end here in the next couple of weeks. So maybe my time off around the 16th might be a good time because I may be going OTR after that again because, you know, running the normal Target stuff isn't going to meet my financial needs to whatever. But it's something that Rosie and I have been talking about. So you know that extra load I was talking about that they screwed up this week on me? I actually turned that load down, having not spoken to Rosie about it at all because she was sleeping. And I was like, I don't want to do it. I'm going home. Right. And Swift was like, you know, my people over at Target are like, man, we really need you to do it. You know, it'd be cool. I mean, no worries. We get it, whatever. You could hear it in their tone. And I'm like, dang it. So after I hung up with them, I woke Rosie up. I'm like, babe, here's what they're offering. Here's what they need us to do. They seem to really need us to cover this thing. What do you say? She's like, let's run it. I'm like, oh, dang it. I was really hoping that she was going to back me up and say no. I didn't tell her what my decision was, but she wanted to run it. She was good with it. I'm like, okay. And so we ran it, but whatever. But I've been trying to make her more a part of those decisions as well, because I have a tendency, I don't know if you guys know this about me, I'm a bit of a control freak over things. Those of you who know me, you know. If you know, you know. Anyhow, yeah, so I've been trying to get her more involved in that part of things and being more in the decision making, because it's the right thing to do. And I need her to learn more because I want her to be able to teach people more. So it's a thing. It's a good trade-off. But yeah, it worked out. It was just weird. But, you know, we are constantly evaluating what we're doing every week, you know? And
that's something that you should be doing.
You know, we preach it, and you know, this is stuff that Jeff and I are doing on a regular basis. You know, we're constantly evaluating what's going on. I mean, you know, even in his new operation, he's learning stuff all the time, and some of it kind of sucks, but some of it's like, wow, I didn't even know that was a thing. That's cool.
So I gotta address DJ here. Don't see Jeff doing much driving. He's always at home. Dude, I was just out for 5.5 weeks.
He's
I
like
don't know what
never
you're
home,
talking
bro.
about. Literally, I was on the East Coast for 5.5 weeks.
You know it
I
is.
started with my straight truck that I had, and then I got in the Western Star, and now I'm
It was
driving
the
Western Star.
it's the fancy trucks you're driving. They think you're at home all the time. Maybe that's what it is.
Well, when in the 16, after I got done remodeling the interior,
That was awesome.
I actually did get that, and I had to pan the camera around to prove I was in a truck,
Right?
because it looked like a living room. Hurricane coming to Florida. What? Do you know anything about that, Charlie?
I was peeking at stuff. I'm like, whatever. I don't worry until they get really close, and then it's a coin toss. There's nothing I can do about them. I'm not going anywhere. I'm not leaving. I got kayaks. I'm just saying. I'm only 9 feet above sea level at my house, and it
9
hasn't
feet?
hit. And it hasn't hit the house yet on any of them. And the last one was pretty damn close. We had the historical high broken on the last big hurricane we had, and we got worried because we were trapped. There was no getting out of where we were. But then the water stopped and we were fine, and it didn't hit the house. Whatever, man. It's part of like this.
We've got a special listener.
Special listener.
You see it? You see it?
No, do it. Oh yeah, I put that up a second ago.
Oh, did you?
Yeah. I see. I saw him.
We see you, Tony Dennis.
You didn't even hear me.
I don't hear anything,
This
man.
proves that Jeff doesn't listen to the words that I say. He is not a good husband to me. Wait, that's
What?
I haven't slept a lot this week. I'm just saying. Anyhow, whatever. I dig it. What's that? What do you got up on the slide down there? Is something you want to do, or what do you got going on down there, Jeff?
Later.
Okay, later. He said. Yeah. Hey, I don't know. This is a good time as any. Hey, if you guys are out there looking for insurance, you BCO types, I don't know. I don't know what kind of insurance you got. Maybe give our friends over there at Seabright a call and see if maybe they can't hook you up with a better deal than what you're getting. They also have some products that a lot of people don't have, such things like BOE, business operating expenses. If your truck is wrecked and you're down, most insurances don't actually cover your downtime for your business. They cover injury time that you're down, things like that. And you may have to sue somebody to actually get your business expenses covered. They've got a nifty coverage called BOE, business operating expenses. It's a pretty good cost. It's a low cost, and it will cover your business operating expenses up to like $2,500 or something like that. And it's pretty good deal. Anyhow, give them a call. Seabright, we like those guys. Tony Dennis, this guy right here, like that guy. Give him a call. It is, what's the phone number? Dang it. 800-366-6466. That's it. Give him a call. Check him out. see what's going on. And worst case, they can't beat your rate. Best case, they beat your rate, and I promise you'll have better service than just about anywhere else you could ever be, because the service we've seen out of them is freaking amazing. Hey, don't forget, like, subscribe, reminders, thumbs, all that stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It helps us out. You
Tell
guys,
your friends.
right? Tell somebody something. Look, hit the little button down there. Some subscribe, hit the reminder so you know when we put out new stuff. It's pretty cool sometimes. And we're probably going to start putting out some different stuff, some more recorded stuff, not necessarily live. We are going to be working on a lot more recorded content, because we can put out something on a specific topic. You guys can check it out if you wouldn't mind. Let us know what you think. If we got questions or stuff like that, guess what? Then you could come in on the Tuesday show and be like, hey, man, so I watched that video you put out this week, and I was wondering what the heck you mean by what you said.
Yep.
And then we can give you answers right here. Or you could comment down below, just like on this video. Comment down below if you got questions, if you're watching this on the replay or something. And we'll be able to get to those. And we try to answer as many as we can. Sometimes, every now and then, they slip through the cracks, and we do apologize for that. But it's just me and Jeff. It's only two of us out here. Well, Donna does answer quite a few questions for us as well, though, on the YouTube. So I'm not going to lie. She's actually super helpful.
And she's really good at, like, hey, you two idiots, you've got a question on there that I can't answer. Get on there and answer it.
I'm just saying, it's a thing. We try. Look, you guys got to remember, we are running individual trucking companies for ourselves as well.
Mm-hmm. It's a challenge.
While trying to do all
actually, one of the criticisms, Charlie, I got the other day was about my sound quality on a video I did. And my response to that was, well, thanks for the feedback. And yes, it is definitely challenging to have decent sound quality when you're out actually on an active working truck.
Right.
I mean, this is what I use. And by the way, those of you that know already, with this new Dealy Bob that we're doing.
Dealy Bob, he says.
Yeah. We're going to gamify the community.
Gamify.
So, for interaction and actually participating in the group that you're paying for, right? We'll have some swag. We'll have some things to give out. But the big thing is on the recruiting side. The first recruiting drive we're doing is going to start as soon as we get this thing that you see to actually work, so that we can, sign people up. But we will be, for every person that you refer to us, you get your name into a drawing for one of these, the Clear Drive 220 headset. Is what we're giving out the first month. And then we'll be, I think you guys will be excited about some of the items that we've chosen to raffle off. I don't want to give it away.
It's not a raffle. We can't say raffle off.
Oh, we can't say that?
Give away.
We're going to give away in an orderly manner. How's that? I don't know. Charlie knows these laws. I don't know these laws.
Well, because it's not a raffle. They're not buying anything. It's
is that the difference?
It's a giveaway.
Okay.
And basically what you're going to do is we're going to keep track of all the people that come in and say, hey, James Bond told me I should come join this group. And I like what you guys are doing. So I'm joining. And James Bond is the guy that told me all about you guys. And we're going to put little tick marks next to everybody. And there's a way for them to tell us who recommended you or recommended them. And whoever has the most at the end of each cycle, which we will let you know about later. Chris, I refer Charlie. No, sir, I'm already in. Sorry. Jeff got that one. Not really. Jeff and I are not eligible for winning any of these prizes, just so you know. Neither is Rosie, neither is Donna.
That's right.
So,
but I could tell you, so the Clear Drive we're telling you about now, that's going to be our first giveaway. But all of the things that we're looking at giving away are things that you will actually use on your truck.
Yeah.
None of this foo-foo, polish your wheels or something like that. But things that you will actually use on your truck.
We've got many ideas and plans, and some of it's electronics, some of it's tool stuff that you will actually want to use. I'm just saying. Yeah, so it's gonna be cool. I think that you guys will enjoy it. Not to mention the community will be what it is, and it will be a huge, massive melding of minds and information and experience. So I mean, it's a
Right.
thing. Not to mention classes that come on. There's gonna be so much. It's gonna be great.
Yeah, and so our coach, and I'm gonna go ahead and put him up here, Charlie. This is the guy that we've been talking good things about last couple of weeks, if you guys remember. His name's Josh Hall, and he's a member. He's part of what's called the Mastermind Group, and these are people like Dean Graziosi and
Tony Robbins.
Tony Robbins and people like that. Now, his specific field of expertise is in time management and how to gain your vision for the future
Mindset.
and meet that vision, get that mindset. And this is one of the things that have had us gravitate towards him to work with him to succeed in business while winning at home.
Right.
Now, that's a tall order for a truck driver, Charlie. We know this.
Absolutely. We did a whole podcast on it, really.
Yeah, we did. So he will be
Check it out
starting
on
up in the next couple
podfield.com.
of weeks in the private Facebook group for those of you that sign up early. And he'll be teaching some classes in the group as well. One of the things we've asked him to do, I can tell you this because he agreed. He used to be a freight broker, specifically for like agricultural, but still, he was in that.
Broker agent, Jeff.
Why do I have to say broker agent?
Because he wasn't a broker; he was a broker agent. There's a very distinct difference there.
Is there?
The broker is the guy with the broker license. The broker agent works under the broker.
Oh, kind of like selling houses.
Yes, sir. Be careful.
Okay. So he's a broker agent. So, but he was the guy that you had to negotiate with.
Right.
He was the one that was like, "Hey, Josh, I need a load," and he's like, "Hey, I got some stuff for you. Let's talk." So we've gotten him to agree to have a class on how do you build a relationship with a broker agent, like legitimately. Aside from just calling the guy's number on the DAP board. You know what I mean? Because people, especially in our experience, Charlie, with what we've done for the last 20 years or so, working with the mega carriers, mileage contracts, a lot of guys are like, I'm just going to go out and get my own authority and I'm going to go to the DAP board. Oh, okay. Do you know how to even approach these people? You can absolutely make money doing that. Make no mistake. You can make more money doing that than you can in a mega carrier if you do it right. But you got to do it right. This guy is going to come in and tell you, look, from my side of the house as a broker agent, this is what I was looking for with relationships with drivers and carriers, how to get the win-win. And he says something I thought was interesting, Charlie. How to tell that the broker's just flat lying to you.
Right.
How to tell that. Because he's one of these weird guys that's kind of honest.
It's crazy.
And he was talking to us the other day about, there's a few of them that just give us a really bad name. And they literally just rip people off. And then that's what you hear about on social media.
Right.
Not all of them are like that, but there are tells, he said, and he can help us understand.
And help you ask the right questions.
Right.
Sometimes we just don't know what questions to even ask. Right. It's the same industry, but a different world sometimes. I mean, I remember, back when we were running that Command and Echo stuff, Jeff, it was like a new vocabulary I had to develop real quick with the broker that I was working with all the time, because he would say things and I'm like, I'm not sure what he just even said. I mean, it was English.
Like prostrating headaches.
Stop it. Why you got to make me talk about the VA? Hey, my lawyer. I got a lawyer.
Because it's the words, right? You got to know the lingo.
Right. Prostrating headaches. That's part of my being declined on my BA stuff. That's great because I didn't know that I had to use the word prostrating head. I don't even know what that means. Still, I haven't looked it up. I just know that I have to say it because that's what my headaches are in their definition book. It's weird. Anyhow, new language when you're dealing with people like that. And they're English words, but they don't mean what you think they mean half the time. It's very odd to me. It threw me off for a couple of weeks when I was working with that broker. But then I started catching on. I'm like, oh, I know what that means. That means no bueno for me. That's what that meant.
Yep.
And, it's nice to have someone that can say, hey, if this is what's happening, this is a mistake. It's going to cost you money. If you can learn that before it costs you money, that's a win right there. And that's what Jeff and I are always trying to do. That's why we share when we screw up and we do bad things and things that cost us an extra arm and a leg. We're like, hey, don't do this thing like we did it because it's going to cost you this much.
Yep.
And hopefully you guys pay attention to those things. Really, I mean, come on, that's some gold right there. And aren't making those mistakes because they get expensive real quick.
Yes, they do.
So, yeah, I mean, it's look, we're working on a lot of stuff. I know we've said that for a little bit of time, but we are super close to actually making some things happen. And this is it, man. We're making it happen. So, with your guys' help, you, the community, I think that you'll be pleased with what we start producing here over the next few months. I think you'll start enjoying it.
Yeah.
And not to mention the giveaways that are becoming. I'm just saying there's some cool stuff coming.
Absolutely.
That headset. I need a new headset. My Ram McNally headset finally broke. Well, not really. It was about to break, and I didn't want it to break on my head and be like in the middle of a conversation. But it's 2 years? I don't even know how long it is now. When did I make that first video? I got to go look. I'm looking. Just ignore me. When did I first post that?
You should redo a video
I've been wanting to
show how long it actually lasted you.
It's like a thing.
It's amazing how much longer the headset will last if you don't sit on them.
Yeah, Jeff, you should probably not sit on them, bro.
That's a thing. Yep.
It's a problem. Let's see.
Do not put them in your wife's chair. Do not put them anywhere. That could be like a Dr. Seuss book
for real.
Headsets.
Let's see.
Oh yeah. Craig Hutchinson wants flip-flops for being first place.
Okay, ban Craig. Ban him now from everything. So I did that Ram McNally Clear Drive 220 review in August of 21. August 23rd, 2021 is when I did it.
3 years.
And I actually had it for a month or two before that, at least. And it just now broke. If you look on Jeff's, the side where his mic is, there's a point right above the swivel there, and that's where it broke. That is the weak point up above the ear cup there that I've noticed that breaks on some people's. So I was always real careful about minding that because it looked to me like a weak point, right? But I mean, I dropped those things out of the truck. I mean, I off the dash all the time. I used to keep them up in the cubby above the driver's seat or even above that one, and they'd fall from there. And then I just started keeping them on the dash. Like they're always on the dash. And I only charge them every couple of days. Still to this day, like right up to the time that I quit using them. See, I'm sitting here like using you. I could like show people. So this point right here is the weak point right there.
That's where all three of mine are broken.
These are Rosie's. I stole Rosie's. They're like brand new still. We bought these back when we bought mine. She doesn't use hers as much as I do. I'm just saying, it was weird. They're not comfortable to me anymore right now. They need to be broke in. Blackbeard said, "What will the cost be for new members?" And we have an answer right there on the screen for you, man. If you get in during the promo time, which is going to be open as soon as we launch this thing, hopefully in the next couple of days, week. We're having technical problems on our end, like making the website itself work. There's a weird thing and there's a weird glitch, so we're waiting for some technical help on that. Once that happens, that offer is going to be up through Labor Day. And on Labor Day midnight, we're going to shut that down, and that $37 price will never be available again, ever, ever, ever. So
Right.
yeah, and it'll go up to 57 a month after that. But we think it's a fair price, a valuable price. I mean, with the things that we do that save you money and will help you run your business better and more efficiently, you'll make more money. And I promise you, well, we can't promise. The word promise is a bad word apparently in the world.
Get sued for that one, man.
It's crazy, right? But I can tell you that, if you're doing a lot of the things that we preach on a regular basis and get involved in the community, you're going to learn better ways to do things. And you know what? You're going to make more money. And the experience in the group that we're going to compile is going to be phenomenal. It is our goal to be the best group for this type of information out there on the interwebs today, tomorrow, and forever.
Yeah, and like we've always said, so one of the new terms that we've learned, Charlie and I have learned, because again, learning the lingo of what you're doing, what this is going to turn into, what we're working on is making it a true mastermind group.
Right.
And what a mastermind group really is when hundreds, thousands, however many people just get their heads together.
Right.
Between Charlie and I, we have about 40 years experience in the trucking industry. Well, who do we know that's got another 20
Right.
that we already work with? You start adding all that experience, okay? And then it just becomes this, no matter what the question is, somebody in that group's got an answer.
Exactly.
A lot of times it's going to be Charlie and I because we've done the research on all this stuff. But if we don't, we can go to Craig, we could go to Tim, we can go to Dennis.
Right.
I've never been a BCO at Landstar. We get some of those guys in there. I mean, think of the potential guys. Most of the people that we've helped so far are in fact Swift people.
Right.
Now let's be honest, there's an exodus going away from Swift right now, but we keep in contact with these people. We got people out there running spot market. We've got people doing like me, doing the expedited. We got people that went over to Mercer. We got people that went over to this place, to that place, JB Hunt, Schneider, whoever. We're trying to get all of these people in there so that, hey, has anybody got any experience doing this over-dimensional, weird stuff that Landstar does? Oh,
Right.
yeah, I've been doing that for 10 years. What do you
Right.
need, man?
Right.
That's the true power of groups like this, guys.
And they can come in and be like, bro, don't do this thing in this market because it will not work. This is
Right.
the outcome that you will get every time.
Yep. And then some people will take that advice and do the opposite, and then they will complain that
Alexi Richardson.
So there are those people. But yeah, it's
My bad.
One of the things that I'm constantly talking with people on the Facebooks about, they're like, man, I'm just not making money. There was one the other day, quit after driving for like 6 months because he wasn't making money.
Right.
And I'm like, well, did you talk to people that were? Because there's those of us that make a living doing this, and there's those of us that don't, right?
Right.
Who do you really want to listen to? Who do you really want to talk to?
Everybody I talked to wasn't making any money, Jeff, so I left the industry, bro. This is stupid.
Sayonara. I mean, but seriously, I don't talk to people that fail all that much. I don't know.
Wait, let me rephrase that. We don't talk to people that fail and take advice from them.
Unless it's to teach us how they failed and now they're doing better.
Or we take their failures that they walked away from and have quit, and we can share that knowledge with other people, because there are people that like straight come to us and they're like, man, I just can't do it anymore. And we're like, well, what about doing this? Like, no, I don't want to do that. Well, what about this? No, I don't want to do that. I'm like, you know what? Bye, bro. Have a good life, man. Clearly this isn't for you. And I can then share their stories in that, hey, this is the problem that they had, right? Here's the solutions we offered, and these solutions would have worked in this given situation. And those who follow those steps typically do better and succeed, and they fix the problems. So I'm just saying. all these folks making lateral trucking moves, all these megas run the same system. It is fairly true. We've actually talked about this in the past where it's funny. Excuse me. You can go from a Swift to Schneider to CR England, whatever, enter whatever big name, right? Prime, etc. The bottom lines in the revenue typically are fairly close to each other when it's all said and done. When all the crime is done and the T's are crossed and the I's are dotted, they all manage the front end a little bit different. They all have their own way and their magic way, and some pay differently, but then they charge you more, and it's all this. I don't know. They all have the same types of problems. They're all fighting over the same freight, it seems like. It's kind of a trip, and we find a lot of people that let's say leave Swift and go to Schneider, and they're like, "Oh, I can't make any money here either," and then they jump to Prime. "Oh, I can't make any money here either," and it's funny because typically those people we found in our experience are making the same mistakes and expecting different outcomes. All of it's relationship building. All of it's understanding your numbers, right? If you don't have relationships, you're not going to make numbers. Right. I don't care where you are or what you're doing. And if you don't understand the numbers, you're going to sound silly when you're trying to build some of those relationships.
Right.
And
well, you walk into a situation like me where all of a sudden now I've got some negotiating power at the carrier I'm at now. That was really hard in that straight truck because I had no clue what the numbers were.
Right.
Not familiar with the operation at all. I know what the base pay is. I know what the fuel surcharge is. I have no idea how much fuel this thing's going to use. Right.
Right.
None of that. So that first week or so, I was just like, yeah, whatever you got, just give it to me. And the office was calling me like, dude, why did you do that? And I'm like, what do you mean? And I started learning little by little what the negotiation points are, and started learning how the truck performed. And, if I'm going to do that thing now, and that's going to take a little more fuel, let's talk. That's
Matt Nissen said, your attitude towards your business is part of the key to its success. Sorry.
Absolutely, man.
But yeah, for real. Exactly, Craig. Doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different outcome is insanity. It's absolutely right. And DJs, after years of trucking, it's ruined my body clock. I cannot stay awake more than 11 hours. By noon, I'm ready for bed, even when I'm at home. That's a thing. Yeah. It's a thing. I don't do the rolling schedules anymore very well. I can do it for a couple weeks, doing the 10 up, 10 down thing. But man, it gets old. And look, I'm getting old. I'm just saying, I'm physically, mentally, emotionally, it's hard to do. But if you can find a gig and build relationships to a point where you can start running a more steady schedule, right? A lot of times, look, some people step into it by pure dumb luck. Step into a regular route with a regular customer, same hours every day, every week, every month, every year, just blam, right from the get-go. Most OTR truck drivers, which is, most of the people that we deal with, don't step into that. It takes time to build those relationships to get to a point where you can get those opportunities, to where you have the knowledge on and the respect and reputation that people will then say, hey, let's offer this thing to him.
Yeah.
There's a weird thing, like, with my carriers at Swift. It used to be you could not get on a dedicated account unless you had 2 years of verifiable experience, an on-time rating of 98% or greater, for so long, no accidents, no log violations, all these things, right? Now, we got guys coming straight out of school, going right on the target account. I think it's a mistake, but I get why they're doing it. They're having trouble filling some of the seats that they need to fill, so they're going to do whatever they have to do. But there's a lot of places out there where you can't get that awesome run until you've proven yourself. So don't think you're going to jump to a new carrier typically and jump into a sweet spot. You're going to have to make your bones there like you did everywhere else, typically
Right.
speaking. I mean, like I said, there are those few, but those unicorns are few and far between.
Yeah, and back to the carrier hopping thing too. I'm going to go back to what Bruce told us several years ago.
Right.
Bruce Mallison at Pittsburgh Power. Do you have 20 years experience, or do you have 1 year experience 20 times?
Right.
I mean, part of the secret sauce to success, and when you guys take our classes, you're going to learn that I'm really big on this. There's no such thing as a secret sauce.
Right.
The principles of success have been the same for several thousand years of human history. It just people package them differently, and you listen to whoever you resonate with. So,
Right.
but part of that one of those principles, part of that secret sauce, is the ability to try something, have it not work, and say, that didn't work. Let's try this.
Right.
Oh, that didn't work either. Let's try this. Pivot, 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 until you find that thing that you're just really, really good at, that you can literally write the book on. And you're like, hey, that's working. I found my thing.
And then you can expand on that.
Right.
You know,
so many people,
don't just settle for, don't plateau.
Yeah, when I went through the application process at Prime, because it's like any other carrier, you don't just go there and drive, even if you own a truck. You got to apply. And then they're like, so you're with Swift for how long? I'm like, 18 years.
Hmm.
And they
It was
said,
funny.
okay.
They didn't know how to deal with them.
They didn't know what to do with me, man. They didn't know what to do with me. And I made good money over there. It's been pretty tough the last 2 years, let's be honest. But over time, it has afforded my family a fairly nice place to live in a community of our choosing. We've never gone hungry.
I was going to say, you
We've
get to eat.
never get to eat. I mean, what do you want from, I mean, let's be real. Until you get to the point to where you're going to expand your business, right? This entrepreneurial thing, there's a lot of they call them solopreneurs out there.
Right.
And they just do their one thing. They do their thing and they're happy with it. I've met people that had, jewelry stores in the fancy area of downtown Portland.
Right.
And got to know them. And this would have been in the probably early 2000s. I had talked to these business owners, and they're just happy as all get out. You start talking to them about the money, though. These people are only making $35,000, $40,000 a year. Why? Well, they loved what they were doing. It was enough for them.
Right.
I'm happy for them. They just never got to that point to where they wanted to expand. It just wasn't in their DNA, I guess.
Right.
But when you start talking about being a business owner, taking that next step where you start maybe adding trucks in our industry, and I know this is good. Again, I'm going to offend at least half of you here, probably 3/4. Maybe go get your broker's license.
What?
Get into a different part of the business entirely.
We'll never speak to you again. I'm just kidding.
I know, but it's that type of thinking, right?
Right.
This thing didn't work. Pivot. This thing didn't work. Well, let's go try that thing. Oh, look, I'm doing really good at this. The other thing I want to say about this, Charlie, is because I've had this conversation with a lot of people. Well, can you make $1 million a year doing that? Well, I don't know. Why do you need $1 million a year? Why is that success to you? And that seems to be a thing in our society. In the United States, I want to be a millionaire. Why?
Right.
What are you going to do with $1 million, Charlie? I mean, I know.
Had $1 million.
Yes, I know.
Had $1 million.
I actually know exactly what I would do with $1 million. Okay,
I'd buy me a monkey. Haven't you always wanted a monkey? My bad.
I'd rather have John Merrick's remains.
Oh, yes. Sorry, that's just where I
But
went.
that you got to think about these things, folks. There's nothing wrong with setting that high goal for yourself,
Right.
the $1 million, whatever. But think about why you want that. Because if you want it bad enough, first of all, you're going to pivot until you make it happen.
Right.
If it's just this arbitrary, well, I would be the first millionaire in my family. That's actually a pretty compelling reason, but it's not a good enough reason to actually make $1 million. I can tell you that, because there's a lot of us that would be the first millionaires in our family, right? You got to think about that. Why do you want that thing? What's the reason? What's the deep, dark secret that you're holding from everybody but yourself that drives you to want that thing? And I bring up money because we're talking about business, and business is, let's face it, it's about money. But what good is that $1 million if by the time you get that $1 million, you can't walk, can barely
Right.
see, and
Oh
your
my
taste
God.
buds don't work? So all that gourmet food you thought you were going to eat in your old age, who cares?
Right.
So that's my thing today. Think about why you want what you want.
Yeah, she didn't like it. He didn't like it. I don't know which one that is, but good
It's
Lord.
both of them.
All righty. Make it happen, Captain, right there.
It's both of them.
I
They
like
probably saw a cat or something. Oh, there's
How
someone at our door.
dare they knock?
This is what happens when your office/studio/living room is all the same thing.
Right? It's crazy. Hey, speaking about the money thing, here's the funny thing that I see with that statement all the time is it's actually not that hard to make $1 million.
No.
It's very difficult to keep $1 million at the end of the year.
Yes.
That's now there's a goal. I want a free and clear million. You want to know why? So I don't ever have to think about what it is that I'm spending.
Yep.
That's an easy one to pull out of your butt right there.
Yeah.
I want to go on vacation next week. I can, if you got $1 million clear, I promise you can take a vacation next week and not even think about it.
Mm-hmm.
But then when you replenish that money.
Well, that is a compelling thing. As we've been working with Josh, our coach, that was one of his things he said when he first started doing what he does is he wanted to get to the place to where his wife didn't have to work unless she wanted to. And if they wanted something, they could just go buy it and it wasn't going to jeopardize their house.
Right.
That was a big thing for him.
Right.
But the point is, he actually put a lot of thought into that because he made us put a lot of thought into our thing.
Right.
So,
it's just there's so many different reasons for doing the different things that we do, right? We've all got our reasons. We've all got our whys. Jeff and I are constantly, harping on you guys when we talk to you face to face and things like that. What is your why? Why are you doing this? Why are you in business? Why do you want to get into business? Right? No wrong or right answer, but you need something to start with.
Yep.
You look at, going back to Jeff's point, you try this thing and it doesn't work out. Most insanely successful people might have 10 different businesses that they're trying out at one time, right? And all 10 of them could fail. Absolutely fail, 10 of them. But the next one is the one that hits. Jeff and I run through ideas all the time where we're sitting there and we're trying, hey man, what do you think about this idea? I don't know, let's check it out. And we'll try it and we're like, oh, that was utter ugliness. That did not work out well.
Oh yeah.
And you just keep trying. Well, okay, let's adjust this. Let's try this. Let's do this instead. Or this is just a awful idea all the way around. But now we know because we tried every version of it. And yeah, it's a stinker.
Right. It's back to and I know a lot of people don't like this guy either, but Robert Kiyosaki, when he talks in Rich Dad Poor Dad, the Rich Dad Poor Dad guy, he talks about how many of his deals lose money, but the ones that hit really hit.
Right.
But he's always trying new things, trying to get into different businesses. And he might lose money on 4, but the 5th one, bam,
Right.
makes up for it all.
Right. But how do you get yourself in in those opportunities?
Relationships is what I'm going to say.
Right. Look, up until what is it, the last year or so, Jeff and I both had kind of this mindset change in ourselves with all the things we've been learning and teaching and spreading and things like that. And we started seeing opportunities where we didn't see them before. All because we changed the way we started looking at everything. Everything could be a potential opportunity. You have to be looking for it, but then you have to not just see the opportunity. You have to be in a position where you can act upon that opportunity. If this opportunity says, "Oh, here's a chance to make your $1 million," but you need $5,000 cash right today, right this second, or the opportunity's gone. Do you have that? That's what I'm working towards right now. That's part of our financial goals, is to be in a position where when opportunity presents itself, we're in a position to strike upon it. Right.
Right.
And
sometimes it's not even monetary, Charlie. Sometimes it's like, well, yeah, that opportunity does exist, but this person over here is probably going to hire the person they've been doing business with for the last 20 years to do that.
Right.
So that's the other thing, that in the they call it the knowledge economy or whatever, the expert economy. What we do here on YouTube and in the private group and stuff. There's a concept of building relationships early, and I'm just gonna go over the marketing of it a little bit, Charlie. Pull back the curtain a little bit. So what a lot of these guys do is they will offer you a free book, right? I actually might have one right here somewhere. One of these free books. And this is not somebody we actually do business with, but Expert Secrets by Russell Brunson. He's a guy that built this incredible advertising empire over years, over decades. He offers this free book that you pay, the shipping on, which is like $6. And he talks in his stuff about how, look, most people aren't going to buy his, $2,000-$3,000 course on how to advertise on Facebook. They're just not today. But what about 10 years from now?
Right.
What about 20 years from now? What he's done, and what we should be doing too, is he's planted the seed that he has this business that could help you do whatever. Okay. His business is advertising on social media. So he can help you advertise on social media. Now, maybe you don't need that today, but what if you have a widget you want to sell in 10 years that revolutionizes the aerodynamics and closes the gap between the trailer and the truck? What if you invent something like that? Well, now you need to advertise, and you have this book on your shelf from years ago.
Right.
I'm going to talk to those guys about doing some advertising now. And that might be worth $10,000 to his organization in a decade.
Right.
Same thing with us. Some of the relationships Charlie and I built at Swift, specifically since we've been there so long, maybe, well, let's just say this thing that I'm doing now doesn't work the way I think it's going to work. I need to pivot. I can make a phone call to some people at Swift to say, hey, how's things looking over there? Maybe I want to come back, maybe I don't, but let's talk about it.
Right.
I absolutely did not burn a bridge over there. Absolutely not. I know some people over at Landstar. I know some people over at Schneider. Obviously, I know people over at Panther now, but these relationships, you can just kind of keep them going and
Right.
put them in your pocket, and maybe someday down the road, the stars align or whatever happens, and you're doing business again, and it's mutually beneficial. That's the real long term benefit of building these relationships.
Planting seeds. Cultivate your fields and reap the rewards down the road.
I mean,
The same.
so an opportunity that I had to pass on, was it like 5 years ago, Charlie? I don't know if I even discussed this with you. My cousin, who's a master mason, he's retired, but his buddy in Southern California was doing really expensive stone countertops and stuff like
Right.
that. And he had issues getting his stone from the quarry to his workshop
Right.
without them being broken. And these loads would have paid going from the Chicagoland up where they had that big quarry down to SoCal was paying $10,000 a load.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I didn't have? I didn't have the money to get my authority or a trailer.
Right.
Had to pass. So I was not prepared at that time to do that.
You know, it's funny. If that opportunity presented itself today, Jeff, even though, and I'm not talking about your finances, let's just say you don't have the money to get your own authority in a trailer right now.
Mm-hmm.
I promise you that if that opportunity presented itself, you through the relationships I know you have could put together a deal in
Yep.
less than 24, 48 hours that
Yep.
you could accomplish that deal like that.
I could.
It's crazy because Jeff and I were kind of involved in a deal that almost happened, something similar to that. It was actually larger, and we were able, through the relationships that we built, we were on the verge of a multi-million-dollar trucking deal if a couple more things lined up right. And
Right.
we were able to put it together in less than 24 hours.
Yeah. So the deal fell through, obviously.
Right. It happens.
But so here's what happened. Within 24 hours, we got the information about the potential deal. We asked some questions of one of our contacts, who then got us in contact with another guy. And within 48 hours, we had access to 50 trucks and 115 trailers.
Right.
If we could have
Like that.
If we could have sealed that deal, that's what that would have been. 115 trailer pool for these people and 50 trucks.
Yeah, we're talking about brand new equipment these people were ready to throw into this deal. Brand new.
And I gotta tell you, Charlie, we were like blown away that we were able to do that.
Oh yeah.
All we did was ask one guy one question, and he's like, "Hey, I know a guy," and that guy was like, "Hey, I know a guy,"
right?
And then it just, and relationships, bro.
For real. We were both, Jeff and I at that time, we were both just like, what the hell just happened? Did we really just make this thing happen?
Well, we did,
but wait, in our defense, we put all the pieces together.
Right.
It was the two end pieces that had to come together. The two final partners that would have been the deal. They couldn't get their whatever, right? We had all the pieces lined up, though, for them to be able to do that. For whatever reason, it didn't go that way, right? But we had aligned every piece that needed to be behind this deal for it to happen. And it was like, I can't believe we just pulled that off. And like Jeff said, it was under 48 hours. The initial deal, we had financial backing for everything in 24 hours.
Yep.
And the full equipment package in 48. And it was absolutely insane. And it went like that. And it was because of an opportunity that just presented itself through conversation and relationships.
Yep.
And Jeff and I probably wouldn't even have looked at it a couple years ago. We'd been like, oh, cool story, bro.
Yeah.
That'd be neat. How does anybody ever pull that off? It's crazy. It's all in that mindset. It's all in how you're doing things, getting involved in your numbers, building these relationships,
Mhm.
The more involved you are with your numbers, the more you'll notice your numbers start climbing.
Yeah, it's weird.
It's like fuel mileage, right? The more you pay attention to fuel mileage, even if you don't change anything, you just start paying attention to it. You'll see it start creeping up slowly. And then you're like, hey, oh my God, look at it. It's climbing. Let me try this. Oh, look, I got a nice jump there. Let me try this. Oh, no, we dropped. Let's not do that again. Let's go back to this. All right. But the more you pay attention to it, the more information you have, the better decisions you can make, the more potential it's going to have.
Yep.
And then you just keep cultivating that, and it starts expanding and growing, and it's pretty amazing. I don't know.
And since we're really into just telling everybody our business today, Charlie, so that deal that we tried to broker gave us the confidence, right, to say, hey, we really can do this stuff, which gave us the foresight to say, hey, there's other people out there that could teach us how to do what we want to do. Let's hire one of them.
So look, Tony.
And
Sorry, go ahead. Tony was just saying, tracking the load profit takes the guesswork out of making the business decision. If you know the numbers, the decision comes like that.
Yep.
You don't have to guess. You don't have to wonder. But you need to know the damn numbers. You need to know, what do I need out of this to achieve what my goal is, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you even know what your goal is? Do you know what you need? I know an awful lot of people that don't, and it kind of bothers me.
Yeah, I mean, and we're working on a couple of things for that too. We're working with Matt Nissen, who is like, I don't know, he knows spreadsheets like nobody I've ever met. And he wrote a nice spreadsheet for one of our members that was specific to his operation, but we've been talking about making a little more general, so you can manipulate some things for your operation that would help you get a better handle on these numbers.
Right.
We've got Colton Lawrence, the trucker CFO. As a matter of fact, I'm having lunch with him again tomorrow, Charlie. And one of the things I'm talking to him about over time, again, he's a busy guy, so this is like relationship building 101.
Right.
Trying to get him to do something similar to the 800-pound gorilla, what they do for Swift, and do like the 7-minute, let's look at your business.
Right.
Let's get you on the right track. And, make no mistake, he wants to be your CFO. He wants to be your accountant. And that's why he would do this. But you need somebody outside yourself to help you see what you're not seeing.
It's just like with the insurance with Seabright, right? We didn't know what the hell we didn't know about insurance. We just were fed something in the past and went, okay, that's great, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And then we had to start looking at stuff, and we found a guy. We found Tony.
Yes. Yep.
And that man has taught us things that will make your eyes go crossed. And there's a pretty regular time when I'm like, Tony, you told me this 3 times. I don't get it. And he'll get it. He'll help me get it. I'm like, oh, I don't know why I didn't understand that to start with. I'm just a big dummy. But you know what? Nobody else in the insurance industry that I've ever come across would have been willing to do that.
Right.
Colton Lawrence, the trucker CFO, that guy can break everything down to you. And he has the ability he has what I call dude speak.
Yep.
He can talk to you like a dude, right? You have those super technical people that said, oh, well, the cost coefficient of this and the ROI, blah, 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 right? And a lot of guys don't understand what the hell they're saying. He can break it down, right? He can break it down, and he's like, well, this is what this means. This is what we're after. Tell me what your goals are, and let's see if we can get you there, right? It's just like with the insurance, the trucker CFO, the fuel card that we're constantly talking about, and again, it's not, oh, great, thunder and lightning. This is awesome. If I disappear, I love you guys. Yeah. Right. Anyhow, but yeah, I mean, so it all comes back to the relationships, knowing your numbers, building teams, right? That's what Jeff and I have been doing for the last few years, is building a team that, guess what? Our team is your team. If you're a part of this community, Our team is your team. You're getting access to our people. We're bringing you professionals like, Josh Hull. We have Tony Dennis back over here. We've got Colton Lawrence that's, we're going to convince to do some stuff for us. All these things, all you got to do is take the leap with us.
Yep.
And if you take the leap with us, I think that you'll be happy down the road. Now, maybe it's not for everybody. I get it. I understand. I can tell you that Jeff and I have spent an awful lot of money investing in ourselves and our businesses to put us in a point to where we can start making bigger, better decisions and far more informed decisions. Our coach, for instance, the guy we're bringing in, Josh Hull, that man does not come cheap.
Yeah, he's our he's our friend because we pay him to be that.
Right. Let's be honest.
Let's be real.
Us. Fortunately, he likes us and he likes what it is that we're trying to build and do. So he cut us a break. I mean, we could not have afforded him. He cut us a break. And so he's been working with us and Tony Dennis, that guy, seriously, he puts in so much work. Tony, I don't know how you work the hours that you work. It amazes me every time I talk to you because I'm like, what in the hell? I can only hope I have that much energy.
I don't think I had that much energy when I was maxing out the PT test in the Army.
I don't think so either for me.
So I wanted to get to this one because this is something that I always like to talk about. You want to kill your thing there, Charlie?
Oh, my bad.
So
I was going to check that one too.
So he says, I know $2 a mile is not cutting it. So to really talk to you about that, I would need to know what your operation is. I can tell you that people at mega carriers like Swift are not making $2 a mile.
Nope.
But they're also, a lot of them are making really good money in the six figures off of $1.80 a mile. Now, if you're, you can answer this if you want, if you choose to or not. If you have your own authority, I get it. You've got higher insurance. You've got equipment costs that guys at a mega carrier don't have.
Right.
You've got all sorts of expenses that people that are leased to carriers don't have, and I get that. But that $2 a mile thing, as I look in social media, I interact with people. I belong to all sorts of trucker groups, and we talk about the rates and stuff. And $2 a mile, that $2 a mile thing, I got to be honest with you, DJ. It feels like it was pulled out of somebody's behind. Who decided that that was the cutoff, $2 a mile? If we look at your business and we look at what your expenses are, what rates you're actually getting, and maybe there's some learning there on if you are on your own authority, getting some direct customers. Maybe there's this dude out of Memphis. He was spotlighted on the DAT thing, their weekly life here about a year ago. Remember that guy, Charlie?
Yep.
He's got 5 trucks. He's got one direct customer out of Memphis, and it's a 500-mile turn. I can't remember what city exactly he goes to, but every day his trucks do 500 miles. His direct customer is only paying him to go one way. So where he's using the DAT board is to try and get a backhaul back. And he didn't divulge what his actual numbers were because, I get it. But what he said was telling is that backhaul, if he can get one off the DAT board to come back, his direct customer is paying him so much that that's just gravy.
Right.
So his 5 trucks every day go out being paid by this direct customer. He's got to figure out how to get them back. But hey, that one contract is so lucrative to him and his drivers that they can eat that backhaul if they need to. What's important is that they get back to service that customer every single day. So you start looking at that sort of stuff if you've got your own authority. If you don't, maybe if you are at least to one of the mega carriers, I would have to see what your profit and loss actually looks like. Maybe you can shave a little bit off on insurance, maybe you can shave a little bit off on equipment,
fuel purchasing,
all these little things. I mean, the fuel purchasing and the insurance are the two that we're going to tell you that we know for a fact that you can save a lot of money on, just based on the mega carrier model. And again, I don't know what your business model is, so I'm being real generic because I don't know. The fuel card on a solo operation compared to the way a lot of people buy fuel, the fuel card that we prefer is going to save you around $100 a week on fuel on a solo operation. And the only reason it's that low is because the mileage isn't as high as it used to be, right? So that's $400 a month right there. Your insurance compared to what a mega carrier is going to charge you for insurance at that 5.6% of value type of thing. You go to a Seabright and cut that down to even a 5. If you're driving a brand new tractor, that 0.6% is a lot of money. Okay. So you start looking at those little things and you start cutting off some of those overhead items, making them less expensive so that your bottom line comes up. And that's how you survive times like this. Now is the time to learn how to run that really lean business so that when it turns around, and we saw this in 2008 to 2011, that nastiness back then. Charlie and I learned how to run a real lean operation. We survived. But you know what we didn't do when it turned back around? We didn't go back to our old ways.
Right.
We kept doing those things that saved us money in the hard times. And Donna, cut costs at home. We're really weird about that. I haven't had a car payment since 2006, I think. Yeah. Charlie's seen my embarrassingly old minivan. I mean, but it runs.
It runs.
And I don't owe any money on it. We actually cook, from scratch. We don't buy prepared meals unless it's pizza. I have a thing with Papa Murphy's. I'm sorry. But, we don't eat out a whole lot. Things like that. Oh, I wouldn't even guess on that, DJ.
Right.
Guess on our price for a new semi truck in 2030. Oh, man.
So DJ, let me throw some numbers at you from my end, as with me being contracted at Swift, right? So my base rate for the miles I ran this week was $1.15 per mile, right? Our fuel surcharge at Swift this week was 42 cents a mile. I made some extra stop pay, right? So I broke that down by the miles. My total gross revenue per mile this week was only $1.61 per mile. Right? That's not even near your $2. Right? But I was able, as of right this second, right now, I've kept 60% of my gross as net profit. How did I do that? How am I doing that? Everybody's like, how? Right?
Mm-hmm.
We did 4,592 miles, and we've got just under $1 a mile going into the bank. Free and clear.
Mm-hmm.
On $1.61 a mile. I'm keeping just right now. This is a rough number. It's looks like just under $1. It's 97 cents or something like that, right? But that's after my fuel, my insurance, my truck payment, and all the other crap I got to pay every week. So I've got, $4,400, almost $4,500 going in the bank this week.
Yeah, keep in mind Charlie's running a team operation, so
right, absolutely.
You got to put that in there.
Right. But I mean,
this whole argument on what on right, and this whole thing about your next comment, I actually anticipated this, believe it or not, DJ. If I kill my current truck running cheap freight, I'll never afford to purchase the next one. Maybe not. But what's cheap freight? So that's what you have to determine for yourself. There are people that $3 a mile is cheap freight. right?
Mhm.
But and if you're looking at it through the lens of your specific operation, that may be the case. I don't know. That's why I say I have to see your operation. We have to look at what your expenses are and then decide what cheap freight is for you. Now, when you're leased to a mega carrier like Charlie and I don't know if Panther's considered a mega carrier or not.
Yeah, I
It
don't know.
seems like a really small operation to me. But we don't have the expenses like the $25,000 a year if you're lucky insurance, right? Because we don't have to carry all the insurance. The carrier carries part of it.
Right.
We don't have a trailer. Carrier takes care of the trailer, right? Um, we don't have to use a factoring company if you're doing that. We don't have that expense because they just pay us every week. Um, all these expenses that we don't have that someone with their own authority does have, and we do understand that.
So,
So
DJ, you say if you drive 2,500 miles a week for 5 years, that equals 650,000 miles. Yes. Okay. What's your point, though? So, I have a truck that I just retired, and the reason I retired it was it was beating me up. It needs a
yeah,
little work but my truck's still running, and it has 1.8 million miles on it.
yep.
And I decided I wanted a smoother riding, fancier truck, so I got into a 23 out of my 07.
I have a truck with 975,000 miles on it. It's got some issues I need to fix, but it'll probably cost me less than 20 grand.
Yeah, I mean, so with Chewy, my 07, I rebuilt the motor right around $1 million, right? I did the tranny, rebuilt the tranny in like 1.2 or something like that. Never had to touch the rear ends. I mean, every time I get a sample done on those. I was doing a sample on those like once a year. No metals, no wearing weird. I make sure it stays topped off and proper fluid, changing the fluid on a regular basis. With proper maintenance, a lot of these trucks, now not all of them, there are a few out there that are they're just downright ornery, and they're not going to last for 600,000 miles even.
Right.
But that's not all trucks. I've got this 23 with, we're coming up on 300,000 miles. Haven't had an issue with it yet. I run max mileage in it. I regen almost never. The only regens happen when you're driving just the normal regens, right? None of this, oh, you got to pull over and park for a regen, bro, because you're so gummed up, you're screwed.
Mhm.
Yet we see a ton of people at that 300,000 mile range where they are so backed up that they're having to replace one boxes,
Mhm.
and they've been having problems since 150,000 miles, right? But you also look at their maintenance programs, and maybe it's not quite as good as what it could have been. I just think that there's a lot to unpack. I think what Jeff is getting at here is, without knowing what your actual expenses are, I mean, maybe we could help you. Maybe we could look at your books and say, hey, man, well, maybe you could adjust this. Maybe we could save you $1,000 a month in fuel costs. Maybe we could save you, $200 or $300 in insurance costs. Maybe we could save you, a couple bucks here, a couple bucks there. I'm constantly looking for a quarter penny saved per mile. And when I get enough of those, then that's a penny. When I get enough pennies, that turns into a dime to a dollar.
Mhm.
Right. And that's what I've been doing since 2008, 2009, really. Really got focused on around 2010 or 11, right? When I
Right.
really started paying attention. And because of that, I've been able to increase, most years, year over year. The actual revenue per mile has been pretty good. And even on, what some people consider a horrible mileage contract at $1.15 on my base rate, I got $4,500 going in the bank this week, and we worked 4 days. I mean, granted, yeah, we're a team, but
Yeah.
Timothy Ransom did 4,000 miles this week.
Yeah.
I know he's got, Seabright insurance. I know he shops for fuel. He seems pretty damn happy to me, and he's kind of an ornery bastard. I ain't gonna lie. I like you, Tim. Anyhow, but we're just saying, without getting into your specific details, it's really hard to dip into that. I'm sorry.
Yeah, and I would say, like we were saying before, if something doesn't work, you pivot. Something doesn't work, we pivot. Every time the economy crashes, Charlie, and we've been in this business for nearly 20 years now. Here, something interesting happens, DJ. We see all these dudes with their own authority either come and lease on with Swift or just park their truck and become company drivers at Swift until the rates come back up and then they go back out. We're talking, hundreds of guys usually that we see. That's one of those pivot things. So yeah, I don't look at it as headaches, and we gotta wrap this up. But
yeah,
I don't look at it as headaches, DJ. I look at it as an adventure. I just, when we talk about our why, I don't know how long you've been listening to us, but my why is literally, I just love the challenge of business. To the point to where I'm willing at times to put my house in jeopardy to stay in business, which sounds crazy to a lot of people, including my wife sometimes. But I just love the game, bro. I just love the game. And it does something to me on an almost spiritual level when I get to the other side of one of these times. And I'm like, dude, that was rough, Charlie, dude.
Right.
But hey, look what we're doing now.
Right. Exactly.
And so headaches to you is a challenge to me. And that's the difference in mindset that we talk about.
Right.
So, again, different strokes for different folks. That's a thing. And
I don't see problems. I see solutions.
TKU 2,200 miles, put 1,400 in the bank this week. That's better than $1 a mile, Charlie. He's doing wow. Isn't it 1,400?
No, that's less than that. Way less. But that's after expenses.
50, right. That's better than when we met him, though.
Oh yeah,
by a lot. I can't do math.
Dude, I don't even know why you're trying. It's great.
Well, when TK actually tells us his numbers, it's always a little bit better than last time.
Right. And that's
so I get kind of I want to do the math.
I dig it. All right, guys, we're gonna wrap this thing. Sorry we went a little bit long. We're gonna be here next Tuesday again, 6 p.m. Eastern time. We'll be right here. Hopefully, I won't be quite as tired. Hopefully, we'll both have a little more rest underneath us.
Oh, I hope so.
God, Nord. What is that? I didn't even know where that word just came from. Good Lord. That's what I was trying to say. Oh my gosh. Anyhow, you guys, seriously, be careful. Take care of each other. No one's out here looking after us but us. You know what? If you see me on the road, say, hey, I probably ain't stopping. So wave quick. I wave at a lot of people out there and nobody waves back. It's weird. I'm just saying, you can see me. If you see my truck pulling a Target trailer 231015, don't get near my truck with a knife. I'm telling you, we'll fight. I'm just saying. You want to touch my tires, though, we can talk. You guys be careful.
And with that,
yep, we're out. Oh my God. Going ugly.